We are here because we love our kids. Bottom line, most of us are parents first, myself included, but there's a whole bunch of other kids that I'm fighting for too. The dismantling of public education is happening right before our eyes. They are nickel and diming us to death, and our children's futures are hanging in the balance. I'm here to give you the inside scoop, and I'm qualified to do so. I'm an expert in education. I have more than 8 years post-secondary training and more than 17 years in the trenches. I even volunteer 5 unpaid days each year to attend workshops and conferences for professional development. And all of this is pretty standard for a public education teacher. Allow me to ask you this. How does Minister Fassbender's credentials compare as a Minister of Education? What does he know about our classrooms and our students? What does he know about your children?
Nothing.
Fassbender claims we are perpetuating a myth that education is underfunded, and I'm here to say he's a liar. Too often, people make assumptions about classroom conditions because everything seems fine. We're all busy with work and families and are rarely in a position to actually see what's happening. When the government downloads costs to school boards, such as increased hydro, MSP premiums, unfunded salary increments, and contributions for benefits, the money is coming out of programs, out of classrooms, textbooks, and resources. Fassbender claims that funding to education is increasing, which is misleading and untrue. He doesn't mention anything about how much of the meager budget is absorbed by those unavoidable increases to general operating expenses. Fact. Spending increases for education have been capped at 0.6 per year for several years. Just to keep up with inflation, it would have to be increased by 2.7%. Not even close. Here's another fact. In 2002, the province allocated 25% of its budget for education. Last year, education received only 14%. That's a drop of 11%. Fact. In the beginning of my career, we had paper for art projects. We had felts, oil pastels, and watercolors for our students. We had education assistants and full-time counselors. We had librarians, specialists in music, drama, art, home ec, tech ed. Yeah. We had enough chairs for all of our students, and even a few empty desks. Our garbage cans were emptied daily, and the bags were never reused. Our students also had access to hand soap in the bathrooms. Kids were even picked up by school buses. School spirit was rampant and morale was high. Does this sound familiar? Sound reasonable? It's probably similar to your own story too, but this isn't the story anymore, not for our children. And I ask you, why not? Did you know we have the worst student-teacher ratio in the entire country? Back then, 3 was the maximum number of students with special needs per class, and we had a top for class sizes as well. Now, anything goes. I teach 2 math classes this semester, with more than 50% of each class having individualized learning or behavior needs, sometimes the lethal combination of both. And I do everything I can with what I have, but it's just not enough. Do you want your child in a math class like that? Last semester, one of my students was finally assessed with a significant learning disability after failing Math 10 twice. He's in grade 11. This is beyond unacceptable. It is heartbreaking, and it is not okay. Fact. If Christy Clark hadn't stripped our contract when she was the education minister, we would have kept 770 special education teachers, and problems like that would not exist. Fact. By 2008, funding for BC students dropped below the national average by 216 and has plummeted to almost 1,000 lower than the average by 2010. Why are British Columbians accepting this bold-faced erosion of our education system? Fact. If the BC government funded our students just to the Canadian average, there would be $568 million more in our education budget. I'm a parent just like you. I want my daughter to be inspired by her teachers in a safe facility with enough desks and textbooks for everyone. I want her to be cherished in an inclusive learning environment where everybody gets the resources, support, and encouragement they need to succeed. I want assessments in place promptly, I want teacher specialists to share their passions with her, and I want frickin' hand soap in the bathrooms. This is not too much to ask, and it is certainly not a myth. Our children are entitled to a well-funded education system, and the government of British Columbia is obligated to provide it. And I will leave you with some words to ponder from St. Augustine. Hope has two beautiful daughters. Their names are anger and courage. Anger at the way things are, and courage to see that they do not remain as they are. Thank you.